Hi everybody, good morning, and let's begin with the quote. There are no rules on how to be you. Don't let society change who you are. Now, I feel that we as human beings look at being accepted, being validated, have a sense of belonging and being acknowledged. I think these are the four things that all human beings always seek throughout their lives. Now, most of us here, I think, have received these four in different amounts throughout our lives, and mostly being accepted for who we are. When I say who we are, our identity. We have been. Now, imagine people who are not being accepted for just who they are, and that too by their own people. That is something that is beyond me, to be honest. And for that very purpose, we have our next speaker, Aman Giri. Something about Aman is that he's our 13th speaker. This is the 13th episode of Voice of Silence. And something about Aman is that, you know, I didn't know him at all a month ago, and today it seems like we've known each other forever. A very, very gentle soul, which you will realize through the course of the video, and is mature, very mature for his age, understands things, and is very human. So on that note, let's welcome Aman, our 13th speaker. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming.
Thanks
Aman.
for the lovely introduction, Kanika, and thanks for showering so much love and respect. I think I was very comfortable at the very first time we talked, we spoke over the WhatsApp video call.
Yeah.
I was super comfortable. Like I take time. I take time to open up with people, and especially with strangers, because I have my own inhibitions and I have some baggages also that I carry. So it's very difficult for me to also trust people. But with you, it was different. I just felt like sharing a lot of things which I wouldn't share to a lot of people. So thanks for your unconditional love.
Thank you, my pleasure. I think that's the least we can do with anybody, being humans. That's where I come from. That वो तो base expectation होता है, base.
Yeah.
Base that let me just speak to you and not have any wall. Maybe have it later, but at least not initially, which I think we have forgotten as a society. So before we begin, Aman, do you have a message, a one-liner, before we begin on our main conversation, that you may want to relay to the world?
I think you were, Kanika, you began with talking about acceptance, and acceptance is when they accept you, they have this thing, they have this ego that, they are accepting you because they're doing some favor on you. You are not doing any favor on accepting people. It's just, as Kanika very rightly said, it's very human to be kind and be nice to people. It's not that you're doing some favor on us. If you don't think you can't accept, just also don't disrespect people, because there are also, I would also like to talk about the perspective, like your perspective may be very different from others' perspective, and always do not see things in black and white. There are always like gray area, gray shades. So you need to appreciate and embrace the gray shades, and also be open to new perspectives, be open to new ideas. Just don't live in your own bubble.
Very important.
That's very important.
Very, very important. So, Aman, if I were to ask you, let's begin, because people here need to understand your story, right? So, if you can tell us a little bit about your family and your childhood, like where were you born? Are you based out of Delhi? Your schooling and all of that, and your family, like what is the basic structure?
I've come I have a nuclear family. I have my dad, my mom, my younger sister, and me. Currently, I'm not staying with my family. I've moved out of my family. So I was born and brought up in Delhi. I went to a pretty good school in Delhi, like in South Delhi. And
So mom, dad, and you have a sibling?
And I have a younger sister.
Younger sister, okay. So let's get to the point.
Yeah.
I understand that you identify as queer and that you are gay,
Yeah.
right? When did you understand that? And let's talk about what happened in the family. Let's talk about the age that you identified as gay and what happened.
So there's a lot of shame and taboo with the term gay and queer. Queer earlier, when in earlier times it was like queer means strange and unusual, but now this term has been reclaimed, and it's so we it's something to be, you know, if you like queer means that you're not conforming to any one gender, like you know how you have been told by the society that there is only two genders, male and female, and now because of greater awareness they also talk about the transgender, which is not true. Gender is a spectrum, and there are multiple genders, and if you do not know about, like, I think, you know, if we don't know about something, we educate ourselves, we do our research. So I think it's very important for us to do our research and not have, you know, because we also have our preconceived notions, you know, that prevents us from being nice to people.
Yeah.
So I think we need to break free from that. Just research, just educate yourself. And I mean, I'm not going to enlighten you all with what LGBT is and how queer and how gay are, like how they are different. I mean, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for sharing my experience. So I think people need to do their homework.
Yes,
it's true. Very important.
It is. I remember when you and I were speaking, I told you that I come from a place of ignorance, which is shameful, and I'm sorry for that, because even I don't know. Like, when I was doing a little research, so I saw LGBTQ, then I saw LGBTQI, then I was like LGBTQIA++, LGBTT, QIAA++. So there was a lot of reading that I had to do, and to be very honest, I could understand a few but not all, which is why I asked you straight up. And thank you for not taking offense, because I didn't know, so I asked. Is that simple, right? So I don't understand. You're right when people say apne usme reh rahe hain without educating and then judging. How fair is that? Right? Tell me, did that happen with your family?
They were not open to new ideas as usual, because you know how Indian families are. They're very conventional, very you know, we claim to be very progressive. We live in metro cities, but then we don't want, you know how they have been conditioned, and how they have, when they were young, they were told by their parents that, you know, that once you reach a certain age you have to get married, and after you get married you have to, like, there's so much pressure to have kids. So this is the social structure, and I always wanted to challenge the social structures and not give in to that. So that way I'm very proud of myself that I could do that. And it's not that it has been very easy. I have had I had to face a lot of challenges, and it has not been a very easy journey for me. So yeah.
Would you like to share a few things, whatever you're comfortable with that period of your life when you came out to your parents? And what were a few things said or that you felt really hurt about? And here, everyone, it's very important to also bring something to everybody's notice, is that we are not sitting here to bash anybody or to sit and complain. No, we are here to educate ourselves, including the place where he comes from, maybe his family members, including myself and everybody else, that tomorrow anything like this could happen in your household, could be happening to you or somebody that you know, or maybe at a later stage. So, you know, having the section in place, section 377 in place, is just lip service. It's time that we started applying it as well. So we are coming from that place, that we are not bashing anybody. We are trying to understand why would his family members maybe not accept him fully, right? So could you tell us a few moments where you felt a little like not too okay with the situation?
Yeah. I mean, I did face a lot of discrimination
At home?
At home because my younger sister, she's straight, and how they are, when they like how people are that like whatever you do in life, but then you are something which is not acceptable. So even if I was a bright kid, even if I would do like great things in life, I was actually published I was published by this Cosmopolitan magazine, and I was so happy. I just wanted to share it with.
That's happened. You're in one of the.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I wanted to share it, but then people were like, "Oh, but what is this?" And then when they got to know that it is about my advocacy, that I advocated for queer rights, they were like, they gave me like scornful looks, that okay, this is what you're famous for, this is what you're doing. I mean, this is. They don't know anything about human rights, They know that okay, so they would respect and they would. Idealize, they have standards, societal. You have to live up to those standards, and if you don't, if you transgress, then you face a lot of. Even if you're doing well in life, they will say things to you. They would say things like, "Oh, but you are that," as if you are something, as if you. Like they will make you feel embarrassed, and they'll leave no stone unturned to make you feel ashamed. So, I mean, we live in this, high time, people need to, they need to, I'm not telling people to change, but this is not acceptable.
It isn't. It's absolutely unacceptable.
Yeah.
It's just gross.
Yeah.
And disgusting, to be honest. So, so you're saying, your sibling, your sister, I understand that she's younger to you, right? That's what you told me. So let's for a moment give her benefit of doubt, because kids, they want to fit in, and so for a moment let's assume that she is where she is and she said what she had to or did what she had to. How about your parents? Have there been any moments where things went a little awry, like they were not anything, or anybody else that they know?
Yeah.
Anybody, like relatives or anybody, I mean, would you like to share whatever you are comfortable with?
Yeah.
We don't have to take names here, Aman, we've spoken about that, but any incident which put you off?
Like Kanika, when I was talking to Kanika, I was telling her that, home is a very safe space. So there's a public sphere and there's a private sphere. So when we are in public, we have to face a lot of, it's not like when you're walking on the streets, and when you are different, when you look different, people, they'll gawk at you, they'll ogle at you, you're groped at times. So the public space is not a safe space, but when you come home, that's your space. So when you come home, you want to relax, and you want to just shut yourself from whatever from whatever's happening, shit's happening outside, and you just want to that's your time,
Be
yourself, you have to be yourself when you are at home. But for me, home was, I would say, it was worse than what I had to face outside, because there were no boundaries. So I had always emphasized on creating boundaries and establishing boundaries. So it's very important that, we respect each other's boundaries. So I told this to my mom also, that, that I would not take things after this, like there is a certain level after which I will tolerate. Otherwise, if it goes beyond that, then I will also, I mean, it's natural for me to also react and get angry. So if people from outside, your relatives, come home and they start beating you up for no reason, I mean, that is something which you don't expect, from somebody coming from outside, and parents condoning, they're condoning that act, that behavior, and then supporting and joining them, making like a teaming up, and shaming together. So it was a very, so this was one incident which
How old were you here?
I was 15 years old. Yeah, and I could not go to, I didn't know, like there was so much, I was not like, I didn't know what to do in that situation. I didn't go to the police station. I really wanted to go to the police station. But, you know, I was given threats that if you do this, we'll abandon you. If you do this, we'll stop sponsoring your education. So these kind of threats, when you get, you are, you know, like what, you just normalize violence, you know, how, I saw how violence was normalized.
And was there anybody you could speak to then, or you were totally alone in this?
I was totally alone. I spoke to people, they didn't empathize, they sympathized, and later they started mocking. They started saying that, oh, you're very, I mean, you know, maybe theek hua, jo hua theek hua, because you deserve it.
Sorry. Right now, actually, my blood is boiling like beyond. I want to use language which is not palatable, shouldn't be allowed on a public platform, but isn't this exactly equal to all the women that keep screaming all the time? And we advocate, I'm a woman, I also advocate, oh, she was wearing this, so उसने ही मांगा होगा. And उसके ऊपर तो नारे लगते हैं, फिर भी crime capital है हम rape के, correct? And now there's something similar happening, absolutely similar, that but you are different, so obviously, what the hell is wrong with this society? And I'm sorry, parents. बच्चा आपने पैदा कर लिया, you know, the woman who's taking the photographs, she happens to be a very good friend of mine, and she and I have discussed this, I don't know how many times, that there has to be a test for parents, that are you worthy of being parents? Because if you're going to freaking hit your children and allow random people from coming out, they come from outside and they are abusing your child at the age of 15 for something that he can't help, that he's born with, what message are you giving to the world? And start questioning yourself as a human being and your self-worth. Who are you? What are you doing to another human being? I mean, that he has to come and speak. It's very ironic, by the way. This entire thing is very ironic. I wish we did not have this. I wish I did not have to call you and ask you, because in a way, very ironically, we have a difference, right? Yeah. And I hate that. And I hate it. I wish we were doing this together for some other cause, maybe uplifting, I don't know, removing poverty or something, or healthcare or schools or something. But here we are. Yeah. You know, it's very pissing off. And I'm sorry that happened to you. And like I said, it happens to those people that can take it, because they're going to change the world. Yeah. So, go ahead and tell me about the public, your journey from there on, where right now I know that you're not living at home. What led you to leave home? And then please continue speaking about what you're studying right now and how that's also posing a challenge, because we want to get to the public sphere now.
Yeah. So I'm currently doing my master's from Ambedkar University. I'm doing my master's in gender studies, which is this course and this program is not mainstream. So people, so I have, in the public sphere, when I talk about public sphere, I had applied for, because you know, I am very passionate about teaching. So I have taught for some years when I entered college. So, you know, to make pocket money, you start. So I used to teach. Yeah, so after my graduation, I wanted to join a school, and but there, when I went for my interview, I was told that, you know, why gender studies, you know, and this is something we don't want our children to know about, you know. So
really?
Yeah. So I was denied the.
Why would they say that? Not.
I mean, you know, a teacher, they have this. I don't know, the stereotypical image of a teacher, that a teacher has to be a certain way. And so I thought maybe it's not that I'm less than other people, it's just that because of my, say, gender expression or how I conduct myself, I was denied the job, because, you know, how also it's also very like teaching also is like, you know how you would only get a job when you fit into the binary.
Yeah, binary. So this okay.
Yeah.
And then tick mark.
Yeah.
And then your little CV, which is your
so in my CV there was a lot, like I had mentioned about a lot that, you know, I had worked on gender. I had papers which I had written on gender issues and queer issues. Then I also there was a lot of NGOs I had worked for which were queer organizations. And you know, when you see the CV, you have the educational qualification also, but you also see there's also LGBT thing on that CV. So they wouldn't take you up because, you know, there are other candidates. So they think that we might be a bad influence on kids. So kids who haven't come out and after, so my classes also would be, so they had their own apprehensions because of which they didn't take me for the job. So I was very pissed also that, okay, like how does it matter, you know, how you identify yourself.
And Aman, because we're talking about this, you educate us that let's say we have teachers from the LGBTQ community. एक तो ना बार ना मुझे ये बोल के बहुत ऐसे झूठा फील हो रहा है. Like every time I'm saying LGBTQ, I'm feeling a little bit of a fraud because like I told you yesterday, why the hell do we have a community? Why? We are all humans. I mean, ये community को अलग से क्यों community बना रहे? मुझे वो बहुत fraud type का feeling आता है every time. Oh, अच्छा, you are from LGBTQ community, so I'm instantly discriminating, you know, in a very weird way. But since we have to, so I'm saying.
But there's also
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Educate us that someone like you, who identifies as gay, has a different sexual preference. What do you bring to the table, and how can that be amazing for not just people who are waiting to come out of closets? Yes, of course, but tolerance, acceptance, how can that be different? What do you bring to the table? Say it. Like, why do people need to sit up? Why do employers need to sit up and, you know, practice inclusion?
Because, you know, I mean, we have to embrace diversity. I mean, you know, we live in a diverse country and we live with these notions that, okay, you know, you only think in binary terms. And also, if you look at India, it's not something like, I was told, like when I came out, I was told by people that, you know, you're imitating the West. This is not a Western influence. I didn't, like, yes, there are a lot of documentaries, and on Netflix, you know, they have a lot of queer shows. It's not after watching them you realize that, you know, and then you come out. It's you know, also they feel that, you know, that India is a country where all of these things are, they actually consider this as a new thing and as a Western import that has come from the West.
That's
but
lack of
forget
education, lack of wanting to think. Wanting to make an effort.
But there have been authors.
But then we have malls. We have embraced all Western festivals. We are dressed in Western clothes. वो सब ठीक है. वहाँ तक ठीक है क्योंकि वहाँ पर तो मेरा status आएगा ना, मेरे को show off तो करना है. लेकिन acceptance के लिए तो मेरे को मेहनत करना पड़ेगा ना, अमन. So Western. Pathetic. And please go on. So sorry, where was I? I'm sorry. What was the last part of the question? So you were saying that they say that it's a West से यहाँ पे आया है. So you chose to suddenly turn gay or say I'm gay because I saw it in a program on TV from the West.
Or someone from the West is influencing me. Like I have friends from America, and people have these. Like in my family only, they tell me, okay, maybe he's influencing him. So, I mean, it's not about influence. It's about, I mean, I came to know about my sexuality when I was in grade 2. But I was always talking about it in a very hush-hush manner because, you know, how, and at that time also, there were no, in today's time, we have so much awareness, you know. People know at least like what it is, but at that point it was a very shameful thing. And if you identify as someone, like I didn't even know that I identify as, I was very confused, and I was very, and that was the reason I was deprived of a lot of opportunities in school.
I was going to say this, yeah. And mention about if you are comfortable about
Yeah.
that assembly wala bit.
Yeah, sure. What happened was I don't know if I'm a good orator, but I always wanted to speak in public. So maybe to like overcome my fear, because I'm very I get really intimidated by like the huge crowds. So I thought let's try something, and I'm also like I wanted to explore that side. So I just told one of the teachers that I would want to like do the comparing, like you know how like it's anchoring, you know,
Yeah.
like I wanted to be the MC. So I like when I was on the stage, like the moment I started speaking, I don't know what happened to like the people, like the students standing, they all, to make me feel less and to make me feel ashamed, they all started laughing at me, and I was like, what is happening, you know, what, like am I cracking a joke, or am I? So I didn't know, I just was a little angry, and then I just kept thinking to myself that maybe there's something wrong in me, and I started beating myself up, which is not right. I was just standing, and I was just like I was just like
Being yourself.
Yeah, I was just doing the task that was assigned to me. I was not doing anything different or anything new, like and everybody, like, you know, it was you know, this thing that not just one person, it's just the whole like there were
The
many
entire
students, the whole crowd,
audience.
the entire crowd. So
And I remember then you telling me that Kanika came down and
Yeah.
then your teacher said something.
yeah, so the teacher, I thought she would be kind enough to not say those hateful things, but she told me, you know, next time let's not say, like, let's not give you, like, let's not send you on the stage, because you know, because you had this posture, you were making these gestures, because of which, you know, which was distracting, and which, like, she was actually blaming me for it.
So here's another message to schools. This is my personal opinion. I don't know how many of you will agree, but education today has become a bit of a farce. Let's be honest about it. It's become a money-making institution. It's dhanda. Dhanda hai, let's face that. That is number one. But number two, what values are teachers giving to children? So let's say there is a crowd of children that is sitting and laughing at somebody. You know, I may not blame the children so much. Because why? Because they're kids. So they are reacting out of, again, you know, कि वो भी हंस रहा है तो मैं भी हंसती हूँ. I am not saying anything to the children. How about the people who are providing education? I mean, why is this allowed? Why is one person singled out when that person comes on stage? And do you realize, I know this, Aman, because there have been a few incidents where I've been singled out bachpan mein for whatever, XYZ, it stays with you.
Yeah.
It stays with you and it continues to play in your brain, and you look at the world in that way. You're always seeking acceptance, even though you might become whatever, but you're always seeking acceptance and always on a back foot.
Seeking validation.
Yes, always. And you always feel you're not worth it. Can we please stop doing that? Banna jisko jo banna hai ban jayenge. Today we are living in a world of abundance, and I'm only speaking about tier 1 cities. See, you and I, we don't know what's happening in tier 2, tier 3, so I'm not going to speak about that. Jo reality hai wo hai, it's abundance, a little too much excess. So please, parents and teachers, don't worry about हमारा बच्चा क्या बनेगा बड़े होके, कितने पैसे होंगे उसके पास, क्या गाड़ी बंगला and all that. Can we please focus on instilling values of acceptance of each other and not repeat these kind of incidents? That's a sincere request, please.
And then after that point, I was stopped. Like, I was so ashamed of myself that I stopped participating in these debating competitions, and we used to
That's
have.
so sad, yeah.
Yeah, and I still have that fear. That fear is still. So when I entered college, I still didn't want to participate, because that fear was still like lingering.
That's what I just said. You know,
Yeah.
it'll stay. You'll always feel like you're going to be judged, pehle se,
Yeah.
so you won't
Yeah.
even take the initiative.
Yeah.
It dies before it even sprouted.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that happened, man. Really. And I wish that doesn't. I mean, you just go for it now. Don't give a
Yeah.
this thing. Yeah. So then, so now you're pursuing gender studies.
Yeah.
Now I want you to bring, and You know, if there's any shame involved, it's going to come in a bit after this incident where even I felt ashamed of myself. We'll get to that. But tell me, you just left home and tell me these 3-4 din ka, a few things that happened where you were like, I wish I could work, but ye hai. Please talk about that. And I think we as a country, you know, we need to be ashamed of ourselves with what's coming next.
Yeah, so how, so in our country, you know, how certain jobs are looked down upon. So when I go out and I want to do jobs which are considered, like, you know, if I, like, for instance, if I really want to do something, like if I want to work at a cafe or something, that those kind of jobs are actually, you know, looked down upon. Or if I want to work in a bar or in a restaurant, so, or at a bookstore, because, you know, you have certain qualifications and you speak well, you're well educated, so, you know, they, even if they would, one, they would not give you the job, and two, even if you when you go there, you know, they would be like, oh, okay, so why do you, like, there will be 10 other questions that they'll ask you to embarrass you more. And there are other jobs which you cannot do because you're not qualified, or you can, like this job I just mentioned, which I was about to get, but then I didn't get it because there was a female teacher, you know, who was a female, and she got that, you know, that's why I talk about the privilege, you know, because cis het people have that privilege, you know, that they can very easily get jobs. So.
And for those of you who don't understand, I also just understood, I knew a little bit pehle, but when he said cis het, that, so I am a cis het woman, which means cis heterosexual woman, which means my sex is female, my gender is female, I am attracted to males, my sexuality is hetero, which means opposite. Just for people who do, we need to do this, need to do this. So I am cis het female. Similarly, you'll have cis heterosexual female. Similarly, you'll have cis heterosexual males. And these two classes, let's face it, we are privileged like how. And I think let's start, you know, reaching out to others who are coming out. यार पता है फर्क क्या हुआ है? Sorry, फर्क बस ये हुआ है, पहले चुप थे, अब बोल रहे हैं. That's the फर्क. It's not like they've never existed. Everybody's existed always. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
Are you telling me in only 2000 suddenly gays have sprung up or what?
No.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's just that you've got the voice now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
we were always,
yeah, we are privileged.
No, I'm saying we were always marginalized, and we were not given the. Still, we face a lot of. Still, I face a lot of discrimination. It's very difficult for me to also get jobs or do the kind of jobs I want to do, because, like I said, teaching.
And then you said a statement which actually made me sit up and feel a little ashamed. You said a statement about the country. Say that I want to.
Yeah, so I'm actually planning to move to America next year because of all these problems I am facing, and it's not just related to jobs, but it's also related to how there have been hate crimes which have not been reported. So there were times I was harassed on the streets, and I went to the police station to file an FIR, and they refused. They said, this is very normal, you know, this happens, and you know, maybe it's happening because you're wearing a certain kind of an outfit, or you're behaving a certain way which is not considered normal. I don't know what is the definition of normal.
None of
and
us
we
do.
need to also deconstruct normalcy.
Yeah. What is normal, yaar? And why, chalo, kuch hota hoga normal. Why is that
what
the
is
place?
Normal for them may not be normal for other people. It's very
Yeah. Let's say you and I are talking.
Yeah.
Let's forget everything. Let's forget everything we know. I'll talk to you. You'll be like, I'm gay. So I'll say, okay, what does gay mean, Aman? You'll be like, gay means, Kanika, that I'm attracted to males.
Yeah.
Then I'll say, oh, okay, I'm also attracted to males. And then we'll move on, na?
Yeah.
फिर next बात करते हैं ना आगे
Yeah.
चल के, या इसी में घुसे रहेंगे. Oh.
Yeah.
And why is that? Because for reproduction. I mean, our first speaker spoke about adoption. Yeah, like seriously, guys, like educate yourselves and move on. There is more to the world than all this baseline stuff that does not concern anybody. My sexuality does not concern you. It's our bodies, our minds, what we do with them. Don't harm other people.
Yeah.
Don't harm anybody. But you know,
don't dehumanize them.
Don't dehumanize.
Yeah.
And the shameful thing that I was speaking about, because he is half my age, and I felt very ashamed, yeah, as an Indian and a citizen of this country. And by the way, also taking this opportunity to tell everybody that my father is from the army, and I'm supposed to be a very patriotic person, right? But I'm not anymore, because I feel our country is regressing, okay? And it's a shame that people who are 20 years older, what have we done that in 20 years the next generation that has come up is talking about leaving the country, not for better opportunities. Please, by all means, you want better opportunities, go wherever you want to, but because you feel that your own country and its people, they do not accept you. Shame on us. I told him also, it's a shame. Like, मेरे को ये नहीं समझ में आ रहा that मैं अपना, like, why are we working? Like, what are we doing? Just money. Where are we making a difference? How are we making our society better? That children are now wanting to leave. कि यहाँ पे तो कोई समझने नहीं वाला मेरे को, तो जाओ. It's a shame. It's a very big shame. And I'm sorry on behalf of at least the people that I know, that few of them that I know, we just can apologize to you. And this is my little bit. No, yeah, it is. I really feel this, that because I also have a child. If he turns gay tomorrow and I do the same shit, I don't know what I should be doing with my life then. Yeah, ये सब ठीक है. ये पैसा, कपड़े and all this is great. वो तो हमेशा से ही चल रहा है. ये कहाँ change हुआ यार? So what's the point then of living in the so-called metro places with all this privileges? It's bullshit.
Yeah.
It is absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
So I hope things change. I hope this changes something. And now we get to the place. Aman, thank you so much for sharing. The reason why I get so hype is because I really feel strongly for the issues that I bring forward.
Yeah.
And now it's your moment to say whatever you want to. What do you want the world to change? How do you want the world to change? And I have a request. I know this is not the platform and you said no, but still, could you educate us on chota sa, like this is this, quickly.
Yeah.
And then go ahead and tell us your message to the world.
Sure.
Whatever little that you know,
Yeah.
We don't expect like all the answers, but thoda to we go a little enlightened from here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, a lot of questions I am.
One by one.
Yeah.
Please explain to us what do the letters in LGBTQIA plus mean, just one by one. That's it.
So LGBTIQ plus stands for
L?
lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, intersex, asexual, and plus means that there are other genders which also come into the category of this. So the reason why we put the plus symbol is that, you know, it's dynamic in a way, because it's not that we are restricting ourselves to one type of gender, that okay, you are gay, and it's also like labeling, you know, you're gay, you're bisexual, so it is I mean, you can it's also like at one point you may feel that you are bi-curious, at other time you may feel like you are, say, pansexual. So it also is, you know, it keeps it's like a self-exploration. So it's not that we are compartmentalizing you, that, you know,
It's fluid.
It's fluid. Gender is very fluid.
It is.
Yeah.
Just like the mind.
Yeah.
You change, no, as a human being. So your sexuality or your identity can change.
Yeah.
It can.
And also this one misconception people have, that, you know, if my friend is gay with is friends with a queer friend, then they would also turn, you know, they would also get converted, you know, they would get converted to you know, being queer, or they would, you know, there is this thing that, you know,
that if I hang, let's say,
Yeah.
I'm the cis-het woman and
Yeah.
I hang out with you,
Yeah.
then it's a conception that I will turn lesbian.
Yes.
Slow clap. Really, man. Amazing. Okay. This is very funny.
Yeah.
You and I should make like a sitcom on this. Seriously. Okay, what else? So, lesbian, we know lesbian is a woman being attracted sexually to a woman.
Yeah.
Gay, we know a man being sexually attracted to a man.
Yeah.
Transgender, we've already done. We had a transgender here.
Yeah.
What is intersex?
Intersex is, you know, you're born with certain genitals, you know, it could be, and it's not, it could be both ovaries and testes at the same time. So producing both. It produces eggs and sperm both at the same time. So intersex is, you know, your genitalia, sorry if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, your genitalia is different. It's not.
तो यार ये तो बाप है यार, ये तो बहुत power है यार. I mean, if a person is intersex with both, they to should be roaming around like you are half, I am full. Isn't it? Okay. So that is intersex, and they can be queer. They can be attracted.
Yes, they fit into the umbrella
term,
term of queer.
Asexual?
Asexual is that I may be romantically interested in someone, but I don't want, like, I'm not into say hookups or so asexual is somebody may or may not be interested in also like romantic relationships.
Okay.
Okay.
That is asexual. So
you're not attracted to anybody. It's like you're
physically.
Not physically,
physically and sexually. Every time you're saying physically here, it means sexually. LGBTQIA. Done, right? Pan, what is the difference between pan and bi? This has always been my confusion.
So pansexual, non-binary, these are the two terms which are used interchangeably. So non-binary is also gender fluid because, you know, you're not male. You sometimes identify as a male. You sometimes, like, I have a friend who's non-binary. Sometimes he identifies as a male. Sometimes he identifies as a female. And like he doesn't want to confine.
I'm only this.
That I'm only male or I'm only female. So sometimes he feels like he's a man, sometimes he feels like he's a woman.
I think so. I think could be the hormones also. There are a lot of times I tell my husband that I feel like a guy sometimes. I do. You
know, there was this reading I was doing because I'm studying gender studies. So there was a reading I was doing that, you know, you are not born a woman, you become a woman, you know.
Yes.
Like society makes you a woman.
So that's why sex and gender are different things. They mean different things.
When a woman is sitting inside her room, when she's reading a book, when she's in her pants, she doesn't feel at that time. It doesn't strike.
That I'm a woman. Oh my God. I don't think so. You should see me. My husband will tell you some things about me. I am that person. That's true.
Like, and the moment you step outside,
then it's
when and when people start like recognizing you, or maybe they would like whistle at you, so you suddenly realize that I'm a woman.
Or I'm a man. You're suddenly made. So which means we are made aware by external sources. This is so interesting. This is very interesting. Okay. Understood. Okay. Thank you for that little information that was required. One last message and then we wrap. Your message to the world. Take your time. What do you want everybody to understand here and something to change? Take your time. That'll be the last thing, then we'll wrap up after that.
Sure.
What does Aman Giri want changed in this world? Right now we can talk about India and Gurgaon, NCR.
I mean, I may sound a very, very cliched. I'm not a motivational speaker, so whatever I'm saying
that's who you are.
May not make sense to people, but I mean, like my message is, because this is very experiential also, my message is to parents, you know, like sometimes parents, they have their own issues, and instead of working on their own issues, they start abusing and they start projecting it on their children, like how maybe they have some unresolved issues or unresolved trauma or childhood trauma. They haven't come out of that. So I think parents also need to, like, they need to resolve their traumas first. And, you know, as children, we didn't ask to be born. We didn't, you know, so you can't hold us responsible for things like, you know, I did not ask to be born. And if my parents had so much issues, I mean, maybe they wouldn't have had me. So this is also this thing. I mean, if you are having a child, then it's very important also for you to like work on your issues first. So it's very important for parents to also like not project it on their children. You know how because they could not do something, so they expect they expect कि हमने नहीं किया तो हमारे बच्चे कर लेंगे. And when you don't live up to those expectations, you face so much.
I'm also a product of that. Different, but a complete product of that. Most of my people in my generation, but I also come from that place. So I get what you're trying to say. And it takes a lot of time for children. to unlearn, and oh my God,
Yeah.
it does. So, but I'm glad that you are aware of this already. What else, Aman?
And
So one is your messages to the parents.
yeah, secondly is very cliched, be kind to others and try to not like, because people have their preconceived notions, about how people are and they have their own biases. So if you cannot respect people, just don't say like stupid things about them, or don't dehumanize them, or don't make them, like, don't embarrass them, that is like what the other person is doing is none of your business. If you cannot understand what where they're coming from, then it's better you stay shut, or or you don't speak.
This is one message that each and every speaker here has said, and they've not spoken to each other. It's not like, "Eh, तूने क्या बोला, मैं भी बोलूँगी." ऐसा नहीं था. But each and every speaker that has come here has said, "Look, I get that you don't understand me. Please don't judge me. अगर आपको कुछ बोलना है, be kind. नहीं समझ आ रहा, keep quiet." Is that too much to ask? I don't think so. Nobody's asking you to change your mentality. That'll take like, I don't know, centuries. But the least is, if you're seeing something you're not understanding, keep quiet. Just keep quiet. Maybe educate oneself if you're that interested. If I'm so interested in why are you the way you are, for me, of course, I look at you very differently. But let's say I'm, that person. Educate ki kyun ho? And now from the other perspective, I always do this, Aman, okay? Because like I said, we are not sitting and bashing anybody. Let's say I come from no knowledge, and I see that your mannerisms are different from what I've been seeing. Now I'll be curious. Can I come straight to you and question? I'm sorry, ask. Sorry for that.
No, it's okay.
Ask. I wanted to say ask a question. Came out wrong. Can I ask you that, hi, what's your name? And you say, I'm Aman. And I'll be like, Aman, I see that you're wearing an eyeliner. I see that you're wearing mehendi. I have not seen mehendi being put by people where I've grown up. Will you take offense to that, or can I come up straight to you and ask?
I wouldn't take offense to that, because that's curiosity, you are inquisitive, you want to know what is it. And so maybe I'll try to like tell you that, I mean, makeup has no gender. Does makeup has a gender?
I agree. Nothing has a gender barring our own. Actually, that also is fluid. Like I said, even our own genders are fluid.
And also, like, this last message, like, be comfortable in your own skin, If you think makeup makes you, like, if agar aap usme अच्छे लगते हैं, then why not? If you think it makes you look better, then you have all the right to do it.
And the other way around, nahi lagana for women, I guess. You don't want to put, you don't want to put. You do you, man. Right? Okay. So we can come up and ask you. And instead of smirking or mocking without asking. That feels bad. That feels really bad.
I mean, there have been times when I'm traveling, people come to me and they tell me, "Oh, lovely kurta, I love what you're wearing." And there are people who are like laughing and making fun, and because they haven't seen it. They're seeing it for the first time. So, and they also they are also like, they're envious of our confidence, that we carry. That, okay, how does he have so much confidence? Let me put him down. Let him show his, place. So showing down people, it's very, like, people are very, they're very cruel sometimes and very evil. They can be very evil.
Yes, I agree. I do. Anything else, Aman, before we wrap up?
No, I think I'm done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kanika.
This was awesome. This was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.